Good morning, 10 o'clock, August 30th, 2023 on Wednesday, 10 o'clock. There's my audio confirmation. Thought I had that one muted, but guess not. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start with channel comments. Not your bud boss says this might be a better forum to address my question. Now let's see. This question first came up in chat room from Boss 351. In the chat room, his name shows up as Boss 351, but we get the channel handle in video comments. Click on the read more. This might be a better forum to address my question. Brand new PC build with a brand new power strip. Now power strip or surge protector, that makes a difference. When I unplug something from an outlet on the same circuit, now he's not saying the same power strip, I'm deducing this to mean a different wall outlet. When I unplug something from an outlet on the same circuit, and is it the same something, or have you tried it with different somethings, and what are those somethings? What are those items? I'm particularly interested, are they powered on when you plug them in or unplug them? The monitor goes blank. Now, based upon the rest of this paragraph, I think I misunderstood what's going on here, because he says the monitor goes blank, but maybe that's not really what's happening. Sometimes I have to reinstall video drivers. What do you mean sometimes? Is that in order to get the monitor back on, you have to reinstall video drivers? How do you do that if the monitor is not on? But always have to restart the PC. So now this monitor goes blank, you always have to restart the PC. I'm wondering, did the monitor go blank or did the computer crash with nothing on the display? That makes a difference. When he first came up with this in chat, I was picturing in my mind the monitor goes blank and then comes back on. I don't know that. Always have to restart the PC. So the monitor does not come on without restarting the PC. It does seem to matter what it is I unplug, or if it is plugged into a surge protector or not. No, it does not seem to matter. Okay, so it does not seem to matter what it is I unplug, or if it is plugged into a surge protector or not. So are you saying that, let's suppose a USB adapter that's not plugged into any device, you can plug that into a different outlet that's on the same electrical circuit and you get this same symptom? That sounds like there's something seriously wrong with the electrical circuit. Doesn't matter what you unplug, or if you plug in a lamp that's turned off, does this symptom happen? That's really hard to buy that. It doesn't. Now, when he says it does not seem to matter, maybe he hasn't noticed that it matters. Maybe he hasn't intentionally tried different things. Any help would be appreciated at a complete loss. Have checked the outlets and they test good with electrical tester, voltage and grounds. Well, I don't think that's quite enough to say that everything in the circuit is healthy just because you get voltage and ground measurements correct. There could be something else going on in the circuit, I think. Now, Lawn Dog is the electrician. In the wall, I've seen electrical problems in the connections that go to outlet. I'm talking about wire nuts. Sometimes they weren't connected real well, and when you jiggle things, the connection gets broke momentarily. Greg M says, make sure hot and neutral are not wired backwards. So when he says he's checked the outlets, if you just put an AC voltage meter into an outlet and get a voltage, if that's actually wired backwards, because the polarity there is a polarity involved with an AC outlet. Now, I'm not the expert here, but it could, for all I know, putting a voltage meter in there and getting 110 volts or around that number may not be enough to say that it is correctly wired. Is it an older house? Is it a or newer house? That might be an issue. So that's what we've got from Boss 351 as additional content in addition to what he told us yesterday in chat. And my questions about what devices are in other outlets, I don't know that that's important at all, because it seriously sounds like there's something wrong, particularly if it's crashing your computer. You had told us originally the monitor goes blank, but I don't think that's what's happening based upon your description. You always have to restart the PC. Now, I think he told us that the caps lock light still responds, so therefore his PC was still on, or am I remembering somebody else? Greg M says eliminate the power strip. Well, I don't think these devices are all both plugged in the power strip. My understanding from what he said here, and it's not real clear, is that the computer and the monitor are plugged into the power strip. Don't know if it's a surge protector. Not all power strips are surge protectors. That makes a difference. And the other things that he's plugging in or unplugging are on a different wall outlet, but on the same electrical circuit breaker. Now, Boss 351 is not in chat with us, so we will wait to get a response from him. I will reply to this chat comment and see what we get from him. So here we go up to Costanza the Mage regarding Aiden's issue with the Ethernet port. So Aiden's issue is the Ethernet port isn't working. If you take away all the information, that is just not relevant, in my opinion. Now, this is in response to the emails that I went through from Aiden yesterday and a video that he gave us. The one thing he didn't show in that YouTube video was Device Manager. I would like to see if the correct driver is installed or if it's a generic one. While it's true that Windows 10 11 will install most of the drivers you need these days, it still has some drivers that slip through the cracks. He mentioned that it's an older secondhand laptop. That's a good example of a reason why Windows 10 or 11 may not have installed the correct driver. Now, I'm suspecting it's an older laptop, yes, but I'm suspecting it originally came with Windows 10, because Windows 10, computer can come with Windows 10 and still be an old laptop. It looks to be an Acer laptop. I took a closer look at the video that he gave us. Yes, it is an Acer laptop. There is one place where you're showing the Ethernet port and then panned his camera upward, and I could see the word Acer on the bottom of the laptop monitor. So it is Acer. Hopefully he can provide Doug with the exact model number or serial number, Acer equivalent of the service tag. Well, yeah, I would like to have that, but I think there's some other interview questions to come up with. He told us that this is his sister's old laptop. He got her a new one last Christmas or something like that. Let me go refresh my memory on this. But what he hasn't told us is, when did the symptom appear? Did it only appear when he took possession of it and now it's in his workspace and this is where the problem is happening? Or was his sister having problems with the Ethernet port in her home, some other building or some other room? So what is the history of the Ethernet port problem? Going to take a look at this. Yeah, his sister's old laptop. I got her a new one last Christmas, as this one, the one with the problem, isn't supported on Windows 11. So he got the new laptop for her because this older computer isn't good for Windows 11. That doesn't tell us that this Ethernet problem existed when his sister had possession of the computer. So the issue about his video showing that unknown, let's see, he plugged in the Ethernet cable and it showed not connected. Well, if the other end of the Ethernet cable is not plugged in successfully to a network switch, that's exactly what it's going to show. So I'd like to know the other end of that cable where it's plugged into a switch. Do you have a light? Is it lighting up? Uh, yeah. So if the Ethernet cable that he was showing us, if it's plugged into a wall port, and then somewhere else in the building that gets connected to an Ethernet switch, if that connection is not there, then this is exactly the way it's going to show up, is what he showed us in that video. And since we don't know the history of the Ethernet connection, the Ethernet connection problem, we don't know that. So I'd like to get that answered. It could be the case that he's plugging into a wall port that he hasn't used for a long time. Isn't a known good port, and it may be on the other side of that port. It's not actually connected to the switch. Now let's get back to what else did he say here? Oh, that's the end of it. And Windows 10, a fresh install of Windows 10, it should be fine with a network driver that's going to work on a Acer laptop. Now, you also showed us that Acer laptop as a touchscreen, because he was actually touching things on the screen and they were reacting. So that gives us a little more clue about the capability of the laptop. It's not a bottom of the barrel laptop. And it's not a half height jack. I see Greg asking about, because the video shows very clearly it's a full regular RJ45 jack. He says, Greg, some laptops have jacks which are half height, requiring one to pull down a flap, and the cord may not make a solid connection. So that's not what's going on here. Now, let's go to other comments. My video, how to fix Gmail reverse conversation order, Piyush saying, thank you very much, sir. This video helped me a lot. Don't have any other comments, so I'm not going to reply to him with this video link. And then from Saturday's show, Matthew Barnes says, great show regarding the channel banner having the black line. For me, I see the black line until I click on the banner, and then it went away. But when I refresh, it's back. Crazy. I haven't pursued anything about that banner. It's not really a hot topic for me. So I'm just going to thumb up and heart his comment and then go to chat. This is today's show. I can tell by the color of the shirt that I'm wearing. Who else is wearing that shirt today? Did you notice who else is wearing this shirt today? Is that already zoomed in? I think so. Yes, it is. Who else is wearing that shirt today? Anybody? Over there? You? Yeah. He's wearing the same shirt. Yeah, he's a Doug wannabe. Ken Stout says, am I first? Ran Israel, no, you're Groot. And my intention was to say, Groot asks, am I first? Because I need to start calling him Groot. Mike Wojcik, hello, Mike Poverman. Sorry about my oil joke. I know it was a little crude. Next time I'll make sure it's more refined. I did not pre-read that one. So you got to laugh out loud from me, or chuckle out loud. COL, chuckle out loud. Weather report from Selden Ball, Lawn Dog, I be here. Ken, did you get enough sleep? Groot, did you get enough sleep? Personally, I slept in my usual pattern, which isn't much sleep, but at least I didn't have any blood sugar issues. Nick Poverman, 2 ads I could not skip. I missed 20 seconds of the show. So sorry, Nick. So, Nick, did you come to the show while the trailer was still available? And then when I actually started the stream, it gave 2 ads? Or did you receive a notification that I was live, clicked on that, and it showed the 2 ads? I'd be interested to know that difference. Greg M., yeah, I think the computer crashed, and regarding the power outlet issue. Greg M was not the person. It's Boss 351 is the subject. Groot says, good morning to a couple people. Lawn Dog Doug, I'd like to have this power issue broken down a little more carefully because some of the description points to electrical problems meeting either in the power strip or possibly the plug in the wall. I've seen electrical problems in the connections that go to the outlet. I'm talking about the wire nuts. Sometimes they weren't connected real well. When you jiggle things, the connection gets broke momentarily. I'd be, from a troubleshoot, see, Lawn Dog is talking about this from the perspective of an electrician. A little more carefully because some of the description, okay, but what, get more specific about your question. What are you asking Boss 351 to do? Broken down a little more carefully, that's to a non-electrician, they're not going to know what you mean. Because some of the description points to electrical problems meeting either in the power strip or possibly the plug. I guess what you're saying there is to clearly identify that the other electrical item that he plugs in and unplugs is in a different wall outlet, not a different outlet in the same wall outlet that the power strip is plugged into, but a different wall outlet. That's what I'm deducing he means. Possibly the plug in the wall. I've seen electrical problems in the connections that go to the outlet. Yeah, well, he's not going to disassemble his wall and look at things in there. Another possibility is the other electrical items. How many other wall ports are you having the same symptom in? If you're having the same symptom in multiple different electrical outlets, like 6 different electrical outlets that are same on the same circuit, then could there be something going on at the circuit breaker? Because it would have to be in common with all of those. How about if you take that computer and power strip and monitor to a different circuit, different room in the house that you confirm is on a different circuit breaker? Do you have the same symptom over there? Would that be useful, Lawn Dog, in what you're trying to dig out about the electrical system approach? The connection gets broke momentarily. The computer, if the connection gets broken momentarily to where the computer thinks there's a power outage and then the power comes back on, well, he'd be telling us that the computer goes dead, and that's not what's happening. It's just the monitor goes blank or black. Now, that might be because of something happening to the monitor. That's what I first thought he was telling us. But then when he says he has to restart the computer, that tells me there's some kind of lockup happening at the computer. Except I think was it him that told us the caps lock light still responds? That means the computer is still responding to his keyboard input. Make sure hot and neutral are not wired backward. You could also have issues with the actual socket itself. The little pictures that hold the plug for the contact, those oftentimes were out in the same thing happens to Lawn Dog. I think you've got to check over your voice to text accuracy a little better here. The little pictures that hold the plug for the contact, I have no idea. I cannot translate that. Those oftentimes were out in the same thing happens to power outlets. I don't know. That's why we need to really get into some specifics about momentary power interruptions. Now, Lawn Dog, please check your voice to text closer. You can use a circuit tester to check to make sure that you have the proper ground and hot and neutral are correct. And that would also be a good check, but I think we need to investigate momentary power interruption. Greg M, eliminate the power strip. Flaky power circuit or flaky PSU are my guesses. Yeah, I wonder what make of power supply unit they used. The make of the power supply unit in the computer you're concerned about? Mike Wojcik, sounds like loose connection and now moving the computer to a different circuit. If the problem doesn't happen there, then that eliminates the power supply in the computer. Sounds like loose connection in a socket. Plugging or unplugging is causing a bit of movement of the socket. Using different outlets, so like if he takes that power strip and plugs it into a different wall outlet and then connects and disconnects some other item from even a different wall outlet, that would eliminate loose connections in sockets, because it's unlikely you're going to have loose connections in multiple wall outlets that are causing the same symptom. His computer is probably plugged into a socket on the end of a run. So he's thinking it's at the end of that circuit that would make a difference. Josh Kinder, hello. Greg M, some laptops have jack. This is not a laptop. Some laptops have jacks, which are half. Oh, that's back on the laptop issue. I already read that one. And he does. That's not the issue on the Ethernet port. Speedy C, hello. Microphone seems to be wearing this. Microphone Doug seems to be wearing the same shirt. Microphone Doug. Who is Microphone Doug? Oh, no, that's different. That's a pink. That's a pink shirt. It's funny. I'm pointing. The microphone is well in front of my hand. Let's see. How do I? Can I? All right. Yeah, this way I can point. I'm pointing right at the microphone now. That's a pink shirt. It's the elevator Doug. Dan Nielsen says to Nick Poverman, send that joke to Mitch. I recognize Dan Nielsen. Let's add you as a moderator. I recognize that name probably from Carrie Holzman's channel. Groot speaks up again. Yes, I was watching the video and saw the ad and stayed. I was watching the video and saw the ad and stayed in chat. Yeah, it doesn't quite answer my question. I was watching the video. Did you come to the channel before the video started? You saw the ad. That doesn't tell me, did you come because you got a notification, you clicked on it, and when you came, I was already in progress? Or did you come to the /live, youtube.com/LWTDB/live and have time to watch the trailer and interact with chat, and then the ad came up? Nick Poverman, did he have any? Let's see. Oh, yes, he did. Okay, here it is. Sorry, because you had the oil joke. So you definitely were in here before the show started. There's my answer. So the video started and then the ad appeared. So once the ad ran, you could go back and you could rewind in DVR mode to see the beginning of the show. Mike says he could plug in. Yeah, Nick says, yes, I came in the channel way before the video started. Mike Wojcik, he could plug a light into the surge protector and see if it flickers when he plugs something into the other socket. Well, what is that going to tell us? It's going to tell us that it does also affect the light or it does not. Does that help us trace down anything? Mike, if you get a yes answer to that or a no answer to that, does that make any difference as to what you would do next? I mean, it's an interesting curiosity. Well, Doug, you kind of got the right idea of the possibilities of having problems with electrical outlets. They are daisy chained together. One outlet goes to the next, and how those connections are made are very important to the next outlet. And sometimes an outlet can have a problem because of those connections. Jeff Ryman, hello. But I would first start off by let's eliminate maybe the power strip, as Greg M suggested. Yeah, remove the power strip completely and just plug straight into the wall. Do you get the same symptom? Because it could be the power strip / surge protector detecting something on the circuit and then doing something that has an adverse effect on the computer. If you got an extension cord, let's use it and plug it into another outlet in the house, run the cord to the computer, things like that. Try to determine if any connection issues. How many of you in the audience are taking apart a power strip? They are very interesting in construction. And the way they form actual contents used for the plug, it's a bent piece of metal strip. They line it in a plastic housing typically. And there's also other connections if he has a switch and other electronics possibly in the power strip. They could be having intermittent connections. That's why I just say get another power strip or eliminate it. And this kind of diagnostic stop has to be done, otherwise we're just guessing. Now, who did I skip? Dennis, Hexona stopped, watching DVR at double speed. I have a Da Vinci Resolve question. Do I see you or Ken? Yeah, probably Ken. It'd be best to take that to his evening show. Let's see, his evening show would be 8 o'clock for Dennis, 8 p.m. Eileen Novak, hello, lurking while waiting in the exam room, waiting for the doctor. Nick Poverment, yes, I came. Selden Ball saw 2 ads too. I came after the trailer, but before the video started. The ads started when you start live streaming. Yeah, that's a nuisance. I don't mind ads showing up when somebody goes to replay a video, but I'd rather not have that at the beginning of a live stream. I'll go check to see if I can disable that. John Williams, on electrical outlets, the hot is top left, neutral is top right, ground is the round connector if wired correctly, if you have an electric meter to check. Want to meet best wishes to Eileen, agree with that. Lawn Dog, yes, Doug, an incandescent light plugged into the outlets around could Hal Herman intermittent connections. Could determine intermittent connections? Good grief. Lawn Dog, help me out here. How much time am I spending on this? Trying to figure that out. Can you spend the time in fixing that? Zavi Manor, hello. Do you use uBlock Origin as me? Well, apparently I do, since in recent days, I've clicked on links during the live show and uBlock Origin has blocked things. So yes, apparently I do. YouTube Group has a link here. What does he have? Daily Da Vinci debacle. Another Daily Da Vinci with Zoom. So he has scheduled a live stream. Well, I'll tell you what, Ken, I don't know. I think I might be penalizing you here. See, I already have a redirect to Dennis's show because Dennis has a premiere. He scheduled it before my show started. Ken, you are consistently dragging your feet. So I am going to penalize you by leaving your link in chat, but I will pin it so it's at the top. So at the end of the show, I will try to remind people to click on Ken's show link, because the redirect at the end of this video is going to take you to Dennis's premiere that he has scheduled, since he scheduled it before my show started. Thank you, Dennis. Dan Nielsen, thank you for making me blue. It's right that you see me in Carrie's chat on the Big Beast build in particular. Ken, to Dennis, check out that link. Lawn Dog, Doug, let's have this person join us in Zoom so we can have an inquisition where we can ask questions to help try to determine what specifically is going on. That would be, let's see, today is Wednesday. He is not showing, I think he's already told us he's typically not available during Windows Daily, but I will invite him for either Windows Daily or Saturday show, or he may be giving us the response in writing. Mike Wojcik, if the light flickers, the problem is not with the computer. You know, it's probably with the surge protector or something in the house wiring. Okay, Mike, good idea. I asked you, what is the purpose in plugging in a light and seeing if it gets a flicker? So that would indicate the problem is not with the computers. If the problem was solely with the computer, then the light's not going to get affected. So that's where that was your reasoning for wanting to do that. Okay, I'll buy that. Thank you for that clarification. Lawn Dog, the outlet, when you look at it, the one with the larger slot is the neutral. The smaller one is the hot. And we all know the ground connector. Now that is if you have a polarized outlet. If you have an older style outlet that doesn't have a larger slot, then I think it'd be the one that's on the left, and maybe you're more likely to have an incorrectly wired slot. Now, if you try to plug in a polarized plug that has the wide prong, it's not going to go into the slot. So then you might be trying to use some kind of an adapter in order to get it plugged into the slot. But if that outlet is wired backwards, you got a problem. If you're plugging in a polarized, that I think that's actually dangerous. That's hazardous. If you use an adapter so that you can get a polarized plug into a non-polarized outlet and you don't know ahead of time if that outlet is wired correctly, then you might be causing damage to your equipment or something worse. Let's see. Ken's show has to be a live show, so he'll wait. Doug, I'm just talking fast. I'll try to read my statements before pushing the enter button. IB, sorry. Thank you. That'd be very helpful. These ads started showing up on live videos for me starting on Monday. This never happened before. Well, YouTube may have made a change because I did not make any change recently. Ken says, all good in regards to my disciplining him. All right, should I go stop here? Zavimanor, if you're using uBlock Origin, why not suggest it to Nick Poverman and Selden Ball? Well, I don't know. I have a monetized channel. If I suggest people don't watch the ads, I don't care about that little amount of pay. Why not suggest it to Nick Pover? I do not use uBlock Origin for the purpose of preventing ads running before a video starts. I don't need that because I pay monthly for YouTube. So I guess Zavi is telling us that uBlock Origin does block the video ads that run at the beginning of a show. Zavi, do you pay for YouTube monthly? Or does uBlock Origin successfully block ads from running at the beginning of my videos for you? Do I have any obligations? Dennis still has 20 minutes to go. Joining Ken Stout live and pausing this. I still have 20 minutes to go. Did Ken Stout already start? I'm checking. If so, then I'll go ahead and jump to him. No, he says 9:45. He's currently scheduled for 9:45. Jim says, snooze, you lose to Ken. What did I skip over? Groot says, however, I scheduled this way before your show, but all good. Not more than 40 minutes because I only scheduled my live stream today about 40 minutes before the show. Your show was not there. So when you say way before your show, no, you did not. You did not schedule it more than an hour before. You did not. What could I have done wrong? I scheduled, okay, here's what I might have done. After Fortnite ended an hour before this show started. That's when I pulled up my live studio. So he couldn't have scheduled it before that point in time. I'll have to do a refresh because Ken Stout drags his hiney out of bed so late. Seldom Ball to Nick. I've seen ads when live stream starts since forever. It's not a new thing for me. I don't use an ad blocker, trying to minimize the number of browser plugins. Friendly competition. Already read that one. Snooze, you lose. Costanzo, you're correct that it appears that Aiden's laptop is Windows 10 era. The processor is a Pentium N4. Good notice that. N4200 listing as coming out in Q3 2016. Good catch. And he's giving us a link for that. That came up over here. Giving us information about that product. And the processor, $56. All right, I'm not going to read through the rest of that. If anyone wants to read through more of that, you can pause. Well, Doug, if he's got, well, it's time to send you. All right, I'm sending you off to Ken's show. I'll read those later. All right, punch over here, email address on screen, and I'm clicking to end the stream. Have a great day, everybody. Goodbye.